Because I want to talk to you about working smarter and harder and how that looks. I'm sitting here outside the mighty MCG, which is a place that is pretty special to me. Uh, Not for the reason that it's special to most people, but this is where I had my very first job. So when I was 14, in Victoria, you couldn't get a job until you were 14 and 9 months, but you could be a private contractor at 14. The Pie Boys at the MCG are private contractors. So I was able to get a job walking up and down the stands, yelling, hop, pies, cold drinks. Try not to yell it too loud because it'll just spike the sound through the roof, but I could really yell that, I can tell you. I probably still can. At 14, because you were paid on commission, not by the hour. We were paid 10% of everything that we sold rather than an hourly rate. So every Friday night, Saturday, Sunday that there was a footy game on, and in summer when there was a cricket game on, I would come down here, catch the train in, and do my 4 hour shift selling pies. Now, how is that relevant to working harder and smarter? Well, people love to say, work smarter, not harder. There's a lot of truth in that. There's a bucket load of truth in that. But I want to talk to you about how I did it here and how I still sort of think about my work ethic now. So you could nominate where you worked each game. So you could say, oh, look, like I always worked the Great Southern, but you could nominate whatever stands there were back then. It didn't fucking mean much to me. I worked the Great Southern because I knew that. Great Southern was the only big stand back when I was 14, and it had 4 levels. So you could nominate to work on ground, level 1, level 2, or the top level 4, the level 3, whatever it was, of the Great Southern. And ground level's freaking flat, piece of piss, flat. Just enough for each person's head to see over the next. It was fucking easy. Yeah, level 2's like that, level 3's like that, level 4's fucking 45 degrees. Um, Now, obviously, the higher the stand you worked in, the fucking harder work it was. Because you got to remember, you've got a tray with a single strap over your shoulder, which is basically the width of a seatbelt. You've got inside on one side, you've got 24 pies when you load up. On the other side, you've got ice creams with a block of dry ice. So you like drumsticks or whatever they were selling, whatever they had a contract for at the time. And then you had 12 750 ml Cokes on top, and then your money tin. The whole thing weighed between 25 and 30 kilos. For a 14-year-old, that's a fucking heavy load, especially when it's over one strap over one shoulder, not in a harness on a fucking hiking pack, right? So there was good reason to go, you know what, I want to work on the lower levels of the Great Southern. I always nominated for the top level of the Great Southern. And you weren't guaranteed to get what you nominated for, because sometimes a lot of softies nominated for the ground level, so they had to put them somewhere else. I always got the top level because no one fucking wanted it. It was too much like hard work. You had to not only have this heavy tray, but you now had to haul it up and down the steepest steps in the stadium. I earned 50 to 70% more each game by being willing to work the spots that no one else wanted to do, by doing the hard work and working my guts out. So it was choosing to work harder that got me more money. But there was also another key part of it, which was being smart. Like, it was against the rules for us to stand outside the snack bars, right? The snack bars owned by the same freaking company, but we were supposed to be walking the stands. Every quarter time and half time, everyone left their seats and went to buy food. Now, we could have been walking up and down, but there were these massive queues. And, there's always smart asses who aren't keen to buy from us who are yelling, cold pies, hot drinks. Maybe not too far from the truth. They're not freshly poured. I might have been carrying them for half an hour. The ice may have melted. But, anyway, at halftime and quarter time, eventually people who were seeing the size of the queue got jack of it and went, fuck, I'll just buy from a pie boy. So we would stand outside the snack bars. Now, manager would come along, oh, you can't stand here. And so I'd walk up one set of stairs, around and down, back down the next set of stairs, and stand in front of the fucking snack bar again. I made heaps of money. I just sold out. I just had to get backwards and forwards to the little in-the-wall depot where I could fill up during the quarter time and half time. But that was working smarter as well as working harder. So, yes, you need to work smart. You need to be smart in how you're working and how you're doing your work if you want to scale. But working harder is important too. But I want to remind you that these were 4 hour shifts. I didn't work harder by going, I'll do 6 hours. Thankfully, it wasn't an option. Whereas it is an option for you guys. The most common thing I see when people are scaling their own business and they want to work harder is they'll work nights. You guys will go on quote nights. You'll do your accounts on the weekends. You work harder by working longer. Now, that's not what I'm going to mean by working harder. I only worked 4 hours. I made 70% more income by working harder during the time I had allocated for work. So think about how you can work harder in the time, not when you're on site. That's efficiently. Yep, sure. I'm sure you guys are slogging your guts out on site. But when you set time aside for quoting or for doing admin or for doing follow-up or any of the other myriad of boring tasks that aren't part of being on site, how can you define the window that you're going to do that in and then work harder in there? You have the phone on silent. Don't answer emails. Don't look at Facebook. Go, right, I'm sitting down to do this quote. I'm going to dedicate 50 minutes, 50-minute sprints, work a treat. I'm going to dedicate 50 minutes. I'm not going to get up, not going to go to the toilet, not going to have a drink of water, just fucking 50 minutes, hard, focused work. Then stop. Take a 10-minute break. Check your phone, go for a walk, go to the dunny, whatever. Come back, 50 minutes uninterrupted work. Not looking at messages, not answering calls, not seeing email notifications pop up. It's the discipline of going, oh, that client sent an email. Shit, I've got to stop this and answer that. No, you don't. Is that email really more important than what you're doing right now? Can it wait 24, 48 hours? Client might be grumpy. That's because they're used to you answering straight away. Have the discipline to work hard and focused on what you're doing now and then stop. That's the other discipline. Like we stopped at the end of half time. We didn't have the option. They wouldn't fill up our tray again. You guys have the option to keep working. Oh, I said I'd go to bed at 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. I'm just going to do another 20 minutes work, which turns into half an hour, which turns into an hour and a half. No, have the discipline to stop. Work hard and then stop. And be smart about how you work in that time. Work smart and efficiently. If you can do that, you can work smarter and harder. So it's not just about work smart, not hard. It is about working smart, but it's also about working efficiently for the time you define for work. Set the time, stick to it. That is just as important in increasing your efficiency, increasing your revenue, increasing your profitability, and not losing your friends and relationships. Not ending up in a broken marriage because you're never around and you're always working and you won't stop thinking about work. Cool. Hope you enjoy my little story of my 14-year-old me.